Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are doing absolutely well. Guys, in this video we are going to cover Cognizant GenC Next and Pro interview experience, and in this one I have taken all the technical round and HR round questions that were possible. Basically in this video you will see the questions from different sections like computer subject based questions also you will see, and apart from that you will also see coding topic question on different languages also. So make sure to watch the video till complete end, because if you are also going to appear for your interviews, this video is going to be super helpful. I'm telling you, you can get same exact questions in your interviews also. Now guys, this was a very hard or medium to hard level interview experience. So in this round the interviewer asked all the types of questions to one single candidate only, but after watching this interview experience you should not consider that your interview is also going to be this much lengthy and your interviewer or will also ask you so many questions. Okay, because we have seen sometimes interviewer asked only questions on one single topic, and that too very last questions. Okay, so it depends on the interviewer to interviewer what kinds of questions they ask. But for your better experience, I have taken one of the hard interview experiences which have covered all the possible questions that from different topics that were there. So before we start the video, if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe to the channel as I regularly post these kinds of helpful videos for all of you. There is a complete playlist on Cognizant Prep. If you are not aware on my channel, make sure to check this playlist, as you will find a lot of helpful interview experiences related to your GenC preparation in this playlist. So without wasting any time, let's start with today's interview experience. Okay, so let's start with the introduction. Okay, what was the basic intro things that you should know before attempting your GenC Next interview? So see, the candidate is saying, I did not have a separate HR round. A few HR related questions were asked during my technical interview itself. Okay, so that's what I have told in my previous video only, that most of the times during your TR only, your HR questions also will be asked. Okay, and by the same TR manager only, like technical manager only, you will get the questions related to your HR round also. So you have to be prepared for both types of questions in your technical interview. Okay, let's see the second point. The interviewer was kind and professional. He first asked for my identity proof. I used my college library card before proceeding with the questions. So see, in this case, the candidate might not be having his college ID card, but I would highly suggest you that if you are also going to appear for your interview, make sure that you have basic things like your college ID card and then your government ID proof. Okay, any one government ID proof. If you have Aadhaar card, then you can take that. Okay, so it will be good. Okay, just in case if they ask to show or verify your identity, right? Okay, moving on. My introduction included details about my education, CGPA, internships, projects, domain interest and special achievements. See how nicely he have created his introduction. I have also told you in many of the videos that your introduction should always have these details, that your education, okay, educational qualifications, if you have attained or obtained a good CGPA and percentages, you can tell that. If not, you can just tell from where you have done your schooling, and in schooling also only 10th and 12th. Okay, and in graduation they must be already be aware, because if you are attempting the interview. But if they are not aware, just you can tell that I am doing my graduation from so and so college. Okay, then from where you have done your internship, if you have done any. Okay, if you have not done, you can skip this part. About your project, again I'm telling you, this is very important to talk about your project. If you don't have any project, create one as soon as possible. If not, then have some content which you can speak on that project. Okay, it does not matter, no one will ask you to showcase or present your project, because not all the projects are hostable on GitHub or on any hosting platforms. There are some machine dependent projects also which can run only in your machine or computer, right? So at least have some data that you can speak about your project, and that data which you are speaking, you should be very familiar with what you are saying, because any type of cross question can happen. Okay, now domain interest. Okay, like domain interest as in which technology you are interested in, what is something which interests you more. Okay, next is your about special achievements. So if you have received any special achievements, any awards, or any scholarships or anything that you have done, something which is good to mention, so you can include that. Okay, so let's now move on to the next one, which is like common HR questions that were asked in the technical round. Okay, so we have gathered all the HR questions that were asked in one go only, so that you can understand. So anything you know about Cognizant, okay? So I always say that be like pre-prepared, okay? Pre-prepared for the company for which you are appearing for. And if you have seen my previous videos, I have already shared few of the interview experiences. In that, I have given you this data that what you can talk about when this kind of question is asked, okay? So see, you don't have to talk a lot. You can just tell that, and just in case, if you are not at all aware about the company thing also, then you can simply say some basic things, right? That, I like that the company is working on the latest AI technological trends, right? Because every company is working on that, right? So something like these things you can mention. Then next question is why Cognizant, or why do you want to join our company? So again, for all these types of answers I've already covered in this video. I'm only covering the interview experience and I will not dive deep into the questions answer, okay? But yeah, you must understand like how can you answer these questions. Why Cognizant? So you can basically say that, I like the work culture and the like opportunities the company provides and all, okay? Next is your internship experience, role and tech stack used. Okay, so see, as the guy told in his introduction that, I have done internship and all. So then based on that, it is asked not in detail things, basic things like from which company or from which organization you have done. Okay, what was your role and what was the tech stack used. Okay. Next is your skills and languages mentioned in my resume. So I always say that mostly like 95% of the interviewers will ask you which is your preferred programming language. If not, then you yourself can tell while giving your introduction that, this so and so is my preferred programming language, or I am comfortable in coding in this language. Okay, so what it will do is they will going forward ask you the questions on that only. If you don't say so, then maybe your preferred programming language was Python, but then you might get questions on Java also. So that is why it is good to clarify in the starting only. Okay, hope this is clear. Let's now move on to the next section, which is technical question asked. So let's first understand what are the technical questions that were asked based on C language. Okay, so I have tried to take on all the possible questions which were previously asked in the GenC Next GenC Next interview. But don't consider that these or many questions will be asked to you. It depends on interviewer to interviewer. Some interviewer asks very few questions, some interviewer goes in a deep discussion and asks too many questions, so it's fine. Okay, let's see. First question based on C languages: what is a header file? Next is the main function necessary in C language, like while coding in C language or not? Next is your, can a program compile without a main function? Yes, but nothing will execute since there is no function. Okay. Next is your data types. So different types of data types that we have: int, char, float, right, and all of that. Next up is your storage classes. So what is extern, static and global, and how many storage classes are there? Pointers, question of pointers can also be asked. What is a void pointer, null pointer, arrow operator? Okay, next question can be tokens, literal, string literals. Next on control statements. Control statements are what? If else, switch case, nested if, loops. Okay, then is printf function. Next up is your declaration versus definition of a variable. Okay, so these are like questions that you can get from C. Okay, if your discussion goes around C topic, then these are the most probably asked questions. Okay, so apart from that, there is very less chance that you will get any other questions apart from these. Okay, next is how negative numbers are stored in memory. Okay, next is your coding task: write a script when asked. Okay, but this type of coding question you will only be asked if like sometime you mention that I am familiar with coding in C. Moving on, what can be the question that you can expect from C++ language? Let's see that. First one, data type related questions. What are data types and what are the different data types that we have in C++ or that are supported in C++? Next is your array based questions. Okay, so memory storage is contiguous, right, in array. So you can tell about that, and basically everything about array that you can speak that. Okay, not just from C++ perspective, but from normal DSA perspective also you can say. Next is your linked list, again a database question. Okay, and identify circular linked list. Okay, in that you have to mention that. Next is your sorting. When you are speaking about sorting, you can also get questions on searching also. So no specific algorithm required, just basic concept of sorting you have to explain. Okay, but again they can ask about sorting algorithms also, right? We have different sorting algorithms, so you can get questions around that also. Next is your queue, right? In queue also we have different types of queues like circular queue and all. So around that also you can get. Okay, next is your modular programming. What is modular programming? Okay, next is your call by reference and call by value difference. Okay, difference between them. This is one of the most very popular question. Next is your pointer versus function pointer. Next is your namespace usage, shallow copy versus deep copy, hashing. Okay, what is the concept of hashing and where it is used? Next is your coding task. So sorting implementation on an IDE while sharing my screen. So they have given one like sorting array, like for example, this is your array. So you need to sort this array. What will be the sorted array? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay. So this type of question also you will get. Okay. Next is your OOPS concept. So I have already told in many of my videos, and I've also created a dedicated video on OOPS concepts. Okay, make sure to check that. And I've covered all the type like concepts of OOPS in that, and how can you answer on how much you need to answer on each concept. You can get everything in that video. Make sure to check that. So see, what are the questions that can be asked on OOPS? Definition of OOPS. What is OOPS basically? Different concepts or different pillars of OOPS. Okay, so in OOPS we have different concepts like polymorphism, abstraction, pure and virtual functions, inheritance, encapsulation. Okay, so based on those you can get questions. Okay, moving on, DBMS and SQL based questions. Okay, and so see, let's see in DBMS what can be asked to you. Normalization forms. Okay, so we have different NFs, right? 1 NF, 2 NF. So based on that you can get. Okay, next is your indexing. So there are different types of indexing: clustered indexing and non-clustered indexing. So you can get questions around that. Next is your SQL data types. Okay, so what are the different data types that you can use in SQL, right? Next is your table versus fields. Okay, next is your joins, different types of joins like right join, self join, union, all of that. Okay, you can explain. Next is your constraints. In constraint you can explain like keys, check, constraint and all. Okay, then group by. What is group by? What is truncate? And what is the difference between truncate and delete? Primary key, foreign key, such kinds of basic questions. Okay, and yeah, for all these questions it's not mandatory that they will ask you to give coding like examples. Okay, you can just tell the definitions also, it is more than enough. Next is one coding task, which is to perform the right join live on an IDE. Okay, now guys, I'm telling you still again that there can be a scenario that you might get all the questions in one go in your interview, or there can be a scenario where you can get parts of this interview. Okay, so don't consider that these many questions will come in my interview also or not. It totally depends on interviewer. If they want, they can ask all this question in your interview also. Okay, and at once, and if they want, they can only consider one portion like SQL or either Python, Java or something, and only around that the questions will arise. But you should be well prepared from your end. That is the main goal. Okay, let's see from Python what can be asked. Data types, operators in Python like relational, bitwise, logical, assignment, etc. File handling. Okay, file handling operations are there in Python like read line, read lines, file modes like write, read, write. Okay, all of that. Swap case function. We have a swap case function in Python. Is strip function, which is used for removing the leading spaces in Python. List versus tuple. Additional topics as per my projects in data analysis, ML and deep learning. Okay, so since the guy's project was on data analysis, machine learning and deep learning, so around that he got the questions. Okay, and you will also expect questions on your project based. Okay, definitely you will get. Next is your pandas. So see, these are questions based on the project, because he has told he has used machine learning and data analysis. So pandas, numpy, questions around that. Next is your cloud native experience. Explain my Udacity scholarship experience on cloud native architecture, discussing Docker and Kubernetes. So basically something extracurricular which he has done. So around that he got the questions. Okay, moving on. Final moments in the interview. Okay, so many things happened. So now to summarize, interview concluded the session mentioning that the results would be shared with the college TPC, which is training and placement cell. If selected, HR would contact me. Okay, so at the end, interviewer told this. Now one more thing, at the end, mostly interviewers also ask you, do you have any questions for me? So I would definitely say that you should ask at least one basic question, not two very hard question or something. Very basic question which interviewer can obviously answer that, and that gives a good impact on the interviewer that you are very proactive and ready for this job and willing to do this job. Okay, so I would highly suggest to ask at least one question, not too much. Okay, asking too much question also does not look professional. Okay, so some personal experience from the candidate and performance. Okay, so interview was scheduled from 10:30 a.m. to 12, which is around 1.5 hour. Okay, 1.5 hour, but it got delayed to 2:30 p.m., making me a bit exhausted. So see, this you also have to be ready for it, that maybe your interview is scheduled for a different time but it is getting delayed. So don't get stressed, because you do not have to get stressed during your interview. You have to be as much relaxed as possible. Okay, because I have also seen some of the students or candidates that they prepare at the very end moment about technical questions. it won't take you anywhere. It will make your, anxiety more, increase your anxiety more. Try to be relaxed as much as possible, because the greater you are relaxed, okay, the greater you are relaxed, the greater your performance is. Okay, why so? Because you are calm, right? And because also you also have to be confident in the interview. You don't have to showcase that you are very nervous, right? So if you are not relaxed, only if you are constantly nervous in your mind, then how can you show confidence while speaking, right? So make sure that you are very relaxed at the interview. I believe I answered around 75% of the questions correctly. I felt nervous at times, but the interviewer was supportive. And most of the cases, interviewers are supportive only because they are there to take you and not to reject you, right? They have to take you, right? That is why only they are following such a long process of online assessment, aptitude, quants and all, right? And after that, technical assessment, and now interview. Why would they do all this to reject you, right? They want to take you. So don't feel that the interview will not help, or some interviewer will not help or something. They will definitely help you. If you are stuck at any point, you can ask them only. Okay, can you suggest, I don't understand this part. Make sure that you get the questions clearly. Okay, he provided the correct answer or guided me when I was unsure, which was a great gesture. Okay, so hope this was helpful for you. Now tips for the future candidates who are going to appear for your GenC next. Okay, GenC next, pro, whatever. So this interview experience is going to be helpful for everyone. So stay calm, first thing. Okay, while answering, do not rush. Okay, do not rush to answer. There is no problem. Okay, take your time, answer, and try to explain in a better way. You do not think that time is going, so I have to explain quickly and all. Don't rush. Okay, next is if unclear about a question, politely ask for clarification. Okay, so see, this will definitely happen sometimes. Because of accent problem, you might not get what they have spoken, or sometimes the question is not very clear to you. They might have asked you question orally, but like for example on some question on searching or sorting or something, okay, where they have explained you in words orally, but you do not understood it in one go. So you can ask them again. Okay, it's totally fine. They can clarify you. Okay, next is explain your thought process aloud while solving problems. Sometimes what happens, they will give you some question like sorting based only. Let's take an example like this type of question where you have this type of like okay, sorting array. Now what you are doing, you are solving it. Okay, you are totally doing everything fine, but there is a long silence in between. You are just doing what you are doing, and then interviewer is just watching you. That is also not a good thing. Okay, you should at least speak. So for example, like you are writing a for loop, so just say that, okay, I am writing this for loop, so what this will do, this will iterate from here to here, from starting to ending, and this will check this condition. Okay, so explain your thought process or think out loud. We call this as think out loud. When you are solving a particular question, then think out loud. Whatever you are thinking in your head, try to speak it. Okay, now again, there is some catch in this. You don't have to speak everything what you are thinking, but at least you have to get rid of that silence, awkward silence that is there. Okay, hope you have got it. Next is your review. So difficulty level for this interview experience was moderate. It was not very tough and not very easy also. Number of questions asked were very high, because you have seen that the questions were literally asked on every single topic that was possible, but the difficulty was manageable. Okay, since the candidate also had a very good experience and previously, so it was manageable for him. So in the same way, based on your resume, your skill sets only, you will get the question, so you don't have to be worried about that. Okay, now HR round experience. Okay, so after the technical interview, as the interviewer said, if you get shortlisted or something, you will get the further notification for HR round. So the candidate got the further notification, and the HR round was more of a documentation verification process held 2 days after the technical interview. So after your technical interview, the HR interview or this round happened after 2 days, but that does not guarantee that in your case also it will happen after 2 days only. So don't think that, okay, it might take more time also. Next is I was asked to show identity proofs like PAN card, college ID, 10th grade mark sheets. Okay, in the HR round. Next was your HR recited a declaration, and I confirmed my consent to work. Okay, like HR will say few things and they will ask you, are you ready to work for this company or something? So you just have to say, yes, I am ready to work. Next is she also asked if I had any doubts about the company. So like if you have any doubts or something, you can ask. Okay, you can ask like, when will I get my joining date or something, some basic questions, not too hard or tough questions. Okay, and again, don't ask too many questions, 1 or 2. You have to be like, you have to understand now you are entering in a professional or a corporate environment, right? So don't ask like very basic questions or very obvious questions. Okay, next is your final outcome and suggestion. So after 1 week, I got the shortlisted and received an offer for the GenC next role. Final advice: be confident, prepare well, because if you are confident, your 60% of the work is done. Don't limit yourself to service-based companies, aim for product-based companies too. Okay, this was the personal suggestion of the candidate. It's totally fine. Okay, you can also choose according to you. So guys, we have seen the complete interview experience. Please let me know in the comments section, did you find it helpful, and do you want to see more such videos? I can bring more such videos if I get a good review on this video, and if I feel that many of you want that. And now I have one DIY question for you. DIY as in do it yourself question. So what you need to do, you need to tell the answer of this question in the comments section. Okay. The question is, what will be the output of the following C++ code? We have 4 different options, and here is the C++ code that you have. You have to figure out and tell what is the output, what will be the output of this question. Okay. Make sure to comment down the answer and your review about this video. Okay. So that's all for today, guys. I hope you found the video helpful. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comment section. Make sure to join me on Telegram and Instagram as well. You can ask your queries in the Instagram DM as well, and if you need any content, you can request it on our Telegram channel. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet to receive all the latest regular updates. I regularly post off-campus drives and preparation related videos for placements on my channel. So that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching the video.